Okay, Chumash for Wednesday. Here we go. Parachav test. Gary, how's the sound? Is it still bad?
No, it's good.
Yeah, not crackly.
No.
Okay, Parachav test, chapter 29, page 36, Chayinu. Verse 1.
It's not, Rabbi. It's not crackly, and maybe others just aren't having this difficulty, but it's just somewhat, as I said, oversaturation in the microphone. So if you can't get to a microphone adjustment, that's fine. It's not that bad. But maybe I'm the only one who's having it.
Also bad also. So let's
but don't you're okay.
Maybe this will be okay. Is that better if I use the internal mic?
Yes.
That's better?
For me, it is.
Okay, good. We'll do that. All right. Rabbi. This is the thing that you shall, this is the procedure that you shall carry out for me. To sanctify them to be priests for me. Lakach parachad ben bakar, take one young bull, ve'elim shnayim tamimim, and 2 rams, all perfect. Av lakach k'mekach has the same meaning as the word kach, take. Shtei Gizr saying there are two roots. Acha shel kicha v'acha shel kicha. So you have kach and lakach, but they both have the same. They're 2 roots, but they both have the same meaning. Because Rashi, remember, there's a big argument. We quote in the footnote 114 here. There's 2 schools of Hebraic, roots. Can you have a 2-letter root or a 3-letter root? So Rashi follows that you could have 2-letter roots. The Spanish school of Hebrew language held that there's only 3-letter roots. Whatever. Anyways, moving along. So take parachad, 1 bull. Take 1 bull to atone for the sinful act of the golden calf, which was a young bull. And a type of matzah bread, and a matzah loaves, kneaded in oil. And flat matzah cakes smeared with oil. You shall make them with fine quality wheat flour. Matzah bread, matzah loaves in oil, flat matzah cakes smeared with oil. Fine flour. Okay. Rashi, lecha matzahs, chalas matzah, kiki matzahs. These are 3 different types of matzah. Revucha, v'chalas kikim, which is sure we're going to see what they are. They're scalded ones, loaves, and flat cakes. Lechem matzahs is what we say later in verse 23. Chalas lechem shemen, a loaf of oiled bread. Because why was it called a loaf of oiled bread? Because the name was given because the oil for the scalded procedure making bread was more oil than was the same amount of oil as the other 2 combined. So it was the oiliest. The scalded was the oiliest. And every one of these 3 types of breads were made 10 loaves each. Belulois bashemen, mixed in oil. When they were still flour, he pours oil and kneads it into the dough. Meshuchim Hashem, the other ones were smeared with oil, that they were baked without oil. And after they were baked, he would then, on those other type of breads, he would smear them in the form of the Greek chi or chi or ki? Chi. In the form of the Greek chi. Sigma chi, okay. Which resembles our Hebrew nun. And you see, and you want to know all the fight about that, look in page 1 on footnote 120. So we see Rashi quotes there's much discussion of what exact shape is Rashi conveying with the Greek kai being the formation of oil smeared. Is it like a Arnun? Is it like a Tes? Is it like a Ches? Is it like an X? Anyway, interesting. Gimel v'nasate some masala chavikravte some basol.
So the bread allowed to rise, and then you put the oil on it.
I don't know if it rise. It's cooked. Rising is already chametz. I think it's
mixed in oil.
The first was mixed in oil, and the other one was baked probably somewhat.
Yeah, matzah bread. Rashi calls it matzah bread. Yeah.
Right. Okay. You shall put them into one basket, and bring the basket in the basket, along with the bull and the two rams. You shall bring them near. You shall bring them near to the courtyard of the dwelling on the day that it will first be erected. You shall bring him to the courtyard of the dwelling on the day it will be erected. We're talking about Pesach al-Mayed. We're on Dalet now. You shall, and Aaron and his sons, you shall bring close to the entrance of the tent of meeting, and bathe them in ritual water. Rashi Rachatzta means bathe, means in the immersion in the whole body, in the mikvah. Hey, you shall then take the garments and dress Aaron in the shirt, the robe of the ephod, and the breastplate, and then adorn him, wrap him with the belt of the ephod, of the backwards apron. The ephod says Rashi, unusual. You're making a verb out of the term ephod. It means you shall adorn the belt and the apron around him. Vav, you shall place the domed hat on his head.
Oh, wait.
Place the you shall place the domed hat on his head. You shall put the nazer, the holy nazer, which is the diadem.
Is that the thing that says?
It sits. That was the head plate. That was the forehead plate over the domed hat. And we talked yesterday. Is it over? Is it under? We explained how it goes.
Yeah, over.
It's in front, but the cords of it go over.
Right, yeah.
Well, the cord of it actually goes over. The cord part of that plate goes over the hat. That's it.
Right.
Nezer HaKodesh, the diadem of holiness. This is the tzitz, the headband. Al Mitznefes, over the domed hat, as Rashi has explained above in verse 37. 28:37, by means of the middle cord and the two side cords are on his head, the three of which are tied to the back of the head. He placed the headband, the domed hat, as a kind of hat. Zion. You shall then take the anointing oil, and pour it on his head, and anoint him. And you shall anoint him. This anointing too was done in the form of the Greek kai. Moshe placed oil upon Aaron's head and between his eyelashes and joined them with his finger. Yeah. Okay. Ches. Vesbarim takriv, you shall bring his sons near, vilbash to kutenis, and dress them in shirts. Tez v'chakarta isam avnei Aaron evana v'chavash lam kumikbois v'yisalehem kun l'chos elam. You shall gird them with belts, both Aaron and his sons, and place hats on their heads. This will act for them and the priesthood as an everlasting right.
I think that's the way the King of England is anointed too.
This will be an act for them. The priest will be an everlasting right. You will thus inaugurate Milesi Adar and you'll thus inaugurate him and his sons. Place of them will act for them this process of inauguration to be an everlasting priesthood. You will inaugurate by means of these things.
You got it from us. Yeah.
This process of inauguration. Process of inauguration will be an everlasting priesthood. All right, Yud. Oh no, next Rashi. Yadam Yad Banav, his Aaron, his hand and his son's hands, meaning with the appointment and the office of the priesthood. Yud. You will bring the bull in front of the tent of meeting, and his sons will rest their hands on the bull's head. I'm sorry, you will bring the bull in front of the tent of meeting. Aaron and his sons shall rest their hands on the head of the bull. The entrance of the tent of meeting, the courtyard of the dwelling in this front of the entrance. You shall then take some of the bull's blood and put it with your forefinger on the turrets of the altar. Take some of the bull's blood and put it with your forefinger on the turrets of the altar. And all the remaining blood you shall spill on the base of the altar. Al karnes, on the turrets above, on the turrets themselves. This koladam, all the blood, all the remainder of the blood. He said onto the base of the altar. Complete this base.
Do you know what the turrets are?
The horns, the protrusions.
Horns, yeah. Horns.
Yud Gimel. You shall then take all the fat that covers the innards, covering the diaphragm with part of the liver, and the two kidneys, and the fat on them, and burn them up on the altar. Rashi. The fat covering the innards. Huakrum is the membrane over the rumen stomach. It's called tile in Old French. Tila. Okay. Seris is the tapish of the kavda, is the diaphragm. Ivris in Old French. Alakovit, which this is, he takes the diaphragm with some of the liver. Yudalit, the fat, the meat of the cow and its skin and its excrement. Tisref eish, you shall burn up in the fire outside the camp. Chatasu is a sin offering. Rashi. Tisref be'esh, you shall burn in fire. We do not find any sin offering whose blood is offered on the outside altar that is to be burned except this one. Tesvav es ayla chatikach. You shall then take the first ram. Aaron and his son shall rest their hands on the ram's head.
So this is a one-time thing, one-time rule for the inauguration of Aaron. It's a one-time thing that the bull is burned outside the camp, and the footnote says
it's the first time. Yes, only once.
One time, okay.
Slaughter the ram, take his blood, and splash on the altar all around. Rashi, Vesarak, you shall splash it, but clear the vessel. You hold the bowl, the sprinkling bowl, and you throw it against the corner of the altar, so that what happens, it splashes on two sides. So you have, 2 becomes 4. And the only offering that requires putting the blood with the finger on the turrets is a sin offering, the protrusions. But the other sacrifices do not need any touching the horns, the protrusion of the top of the altar, and nor does it need to be done with the finger, for their blood was placed on the lower half of the altar, and the priest would not go up the ramp, but stand on the ground and splash from there. Sav all around. So is explained explicitly in the tractate of Zvachim, Shchitas Kodshim, that around does not mean, it means just you do 2 corners, becomes all 4 sides and get some blood on it. because you're basically dashing it on this the corner, which makes it go on two sides of the corner, which 2 times 2 is 4. And each, if thus follows, the blood was put on the 4 sides of the altar, and it comes out. All 4 sides have some blood. That's what's called a saviv all around. Shall cut the ram into sections, and wash its innards and legs, and thus put together with its other pieces and its head. Yudzayin on the sachav, put together with its pieces, in addition to the other pieces. You shall burn up the whole ram of the altar. It's a burnt offering for Hashem. It's a pleasing aroma. It's a fire offering for Hashem. On the sachav, in the sachav, together with his pieces. Musval shar nesachim is in addition to the other pieces. A pleasing aroma gives me pleasure that I ask this be done and my will is carried out. That's what's a pleasing aroma. Isha is a fire, and it denotes the burning of all the limbs around the fire.